I have probably fed more babies than most of you. You might say, but you're celibate. You've got no wife. You've got no children. How did this come about? Well, of course, I'm the oldest. My brother's 7 years younger, so when he was up needing to be fed in the high chair, mom's cooking dinner, lunch, whatever, I fed my brother. Big deal. Happens in families all the time. There would be 20 more babies come through my life before I left for the seminary. We're going back to about 1970, the early days of the abortion fight. This is prior to Roe versus Wade. Mom and the group of Catholic mothers that started the catechism class, which I was in, also started an anti-abortion group called Birthright. And they were fighting for a total ban on abortion. The local bishop suggested they join Right to Life, which compromised. Mom says, I will not compromise, but I've got to do something. And so that's when she went to the unwed mother's place. In Oklahoma, the baby could go home at 3 days, but it could not be adopted out until about 14 days, I believe it was. So they needed someone to cover that 10 days, 10, 11 days in the middle there. And volunteers would become foster parents for those 10, 11 days to save this organization money. Mom signed up there, and so we had 20 children, 2 girls and 18 boys, as I recall. A girl at each end and 18 boys in the middle. I can recall the first time we went to Sunday Mass. Mom's coming in carrying a baby. Like, Tiki, I didn't know you were pregnant. She said, no, I'm not. And she explained, of course, what's going on. So now we'll come back to feeding babies. Well, as you know, when does a baby want to eat? Just when you need to do something else, like cook dinner. I got it down to a system. I would be delivered a burp rag, a bottle, and a baby. And I knew what I was doing. I had strict instructions. I think it was 8 ounces, whatever. Everything be mixed up. You gotta remember, I'm like 10 years old at the time. So, I give half a bottle, then burp. Then the other half of the bottle, and burp. Simple. I did it for 20 different kids then. Served me well down the road. My brother had 6 kids. I got you covered here. Did a lot with them. And I've helped with other children throughout the years. And in fact, I impressed this one gal. She was taking care of her granddaughter, and sure enough, said, I got it. And she watched me in action and said, man, you know what you're doing. I said, I did this so many times, especially with young babies, like what we were dealing with here. I knew what I was doing. And you learn a lot feeding babies. You learn a lot with children. In fact, I was to learn a lot with children as I grew up. And I'll talk about that in another vlog sometime. So, baby, at the middle, you don't get the rest of this bottle until I get my burp.